IPC.
I'm Betsy Maples with Maples Realty and Auction. Are you looking for the perfect blend of city conveniences and country charm? The Maples has it all and features homes from 5 quality local builders and has amenities including a pool, tennis and pickleball courts, basketball, and soccer areas. Schedule a tour with Maples Realty and Auction today. Call us at 615-896-4740 or visit themaplesofmurfreesboro.com.
Maples Realty and Auction.
It's All That's News with Matt Lane on News Radio WGNS.
Coming up, we'll check CBS News before All Sports Talk.
Portions of our programming have been pre-recorded. The Good Neighbor Network, WGNS Murfreesboro, W270AF Murfreesboro, W263AI Murfreesboro, Smyrna.
Says it's a defensive operation. I'm Lisa Lacera, Fox News. Secretary of State Marco Rubio says the operation to reopen the Strait of Hormuz is a favor to the world.
The Strait of Hormuz does not belong to Iran, Secretary of State Marco Rubio says, and the regime does not have the right to shoot at commercial vessels transiting the narrow waterway.
And it cannot be normalized under no circumstances. Can we live in a world where we accept, okay, this is normal. You have to coordinate with Iran. You have to pay them a toll in order to go through the Straits of Hormuz.
Briefing reporters at the White House, Rubio said Operation Epic Fury, the combat mission against Iran, is over, and the priority now is reopening the strait.
There's no shooting unless we're shot at first. Okay, we're not attacking them.
Still, Rubio did not rule out the possibility combat operations resume if diplomatic negotiations fail.
Fox's Jared Halper at the White House on the proposed peace deal between Israel and Lebanon, Rubio says.
By and large, I think a peace deal between Lebanon and Israel is imminently achievable and should be. The problem with Israel and Lebanon is not Israel or Lebanon, it's Hezbollah.
Rubio said Hezbollah terrorizes and attacks Israelis and are also inflicting damage on the Lebanese people. A new charge filed against Cole Allen, the man accused of attempting to shoot President Trump and others at the White House Correspondents Association dinner.
The new charge is assaulting a federal officer with a deadly weapon. The others, attempting to assassinate the President of the United States, transportation of a firearm and ammunition with intent to commit a felony, and discharge of a firearm during a crime of violence.
Fox's Mike Emanuel. Allen is being held for now. His next court appearance is set for next week. Wall Street stocks rallied after oil prices eased. The Dow gained 356, the NASDAQ plus 258, closing at an all-time high. The S&P added 58, also reaching another all-time high. America is listening to Fox News.
From around the world, Trey Yingst, joining us from Tel Aviv, Israel. To Washington.
I'm Mike Emanuel.
To your own backyard. If a story impacts you or your wallet, we're on it. It's the Fox News Rundown. We give every story the deeper look it deserves with must-listen interviews and smart analysis from the voices you can trust. Start your day with the Fox News Rundown. Listen and follow now at foxnewsrundown.com or wherever you get your favorite podcasts. From the Fox News Podcasts Network.
Hey, this is Trey Gowdy, host of the Trey Gowdy Podcast. Every Tuesday, you'll hear what's on my mind. Plus, every Thursday, there's a special bonus episode where we answer the questions that are on your mind. Make sure to spend your Tuesdays and Thursdays with Trey. Subscribe now at foxnewspodcast.com or wherever you download podcasts. Hope to see you.
America's listening to
Good afternoon. We're dodging a few rain showers out here, and rush hour traffic could affect your drive, especially if you're headed west of town down I-40 out towards the Bellevue area. I can see some pretty good showers out in that area. 24, same thing. You could be affected as well on 24 east out through parts of Antioch, especially in Rutherford County. Again, some scattered showers moving through during rush hour. Hey, don't let a slipping transmission make things worse on your car or truck. If you're having transmission problems, come to Amco Transmissions on Nolensville Pike. I'm Commander Chuck, your on-time traffic. It's Commander Chuck, and it's my goal to get you to and from work each weekday around the congestion and all the accidents. Listen for my traffic reports every weekday morning and afternoon here on News Radio WGNS, and see real-time traffic information at ontimetraffic.net.
Rutherford weather.
Cloudy tonight with storms likely. Lows around 60. Cloudy skies expected again tomorrow. Storms likely. Highs around 71. I'm WGNS meteorologist Derek Height. currently 77.
We do it your way at Sir Pizza.
Order a royal feast or create your own pizza online now at sirpizzatn.com. Carry out and delivery for dinner tonight at sirpizzatn.com.
This is a TVA Minute. April showers were hard to come by this year across the region, and the Tennessee Valley Authority's River Forecast Center will continue to do its job of managing the Tennessee River when it rains a lot and even when it doesn't rain at all. The River Forecast Center in Knoxville, Tennessee is staffed around the clock 365 days a year, monitoring weather conditions and forecasts and constantly watching and adjusting the Tennessee River system to protect and provide the best overall value for the people of the Tennessee Valley. Ben Heath manages operations at the River Forecast Center and says information on lakes and rivers can be found online.
It's the TVA Lake Info app, or you can also get the information on TVA.com. Select the lake you're interested in, and then you can get the information. So it's going to show you the elevation of the reservoir of the lake. It's going to show you the downstream elevations. It's going to show you the flows coming out of the dam and the plan for the flows the next couple of days.
That's a TVA Minute. I'm Adam May.
We're the Good Neighbor Network, FM 101.9 and AM 1450 Murfreesboro, FM 100.5 Smyrna, audio and video streaming at wgnsradio.com.
From the first pitch to the final buzzer, this is where the conversation starts. All sports talk on WGNS and Big G TV, covering the Preps, MTSU, news from Tennessee and nationwide. Now, here's All Sports Talk on the Good Neighbor Network.
Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome into All Sports Talk on this Tuesday. Cinco de Mayo. Jeff Jordan with me as usual on Tuesdays. Jeff, good to see you.
Good to see you.
Cinco de Mayo, 5th of May. You told me what took place in Mexico to kind of prompt this little deal?
Okay, I didn't tell you it did. I said I think this is the day where Mexico got rid of the French, who have sort of colonized.
Well, I kind of get that. I mean, wine in Mexico just doesn't.
Okay, I thought we were being serious.
We are being serious.
Oh, okay. Well, I think that's, and I frankly, when I was in school, which I know was the Dark Ages, I understand that. I don't ever remember it even being discussed, anything about it. Then all of a sudden, one day, we were celebrating it. That's okay. Good for us. Yeah. The French don't have any business in Mexico. I mean, you know.
Let's talk sports. What do you think about that?
Oh, yeah, that's fine with me.
You know, I've mentioned this before, and we'll probably not spend a lot of time here, but NBA finals, playoffs are taking place.
Yeah. You can't tell me anything about it, can you?
It's a big deal. It's a big, big deal. Yeah, Jeff, it really is. For most places, amongst me and you, basketball fans and the people that I'm around, it's not a big, big deal. Where is the disconnect between the NBA and maybe what it was back once upon a time for you and me? Because I'm going to say you followed it once before. I certainly did. But it's been a while. What is the disconnect?
Tim, I really do not know. I don't have anybody that says much to me about the NBA. They might occasionally, every once in a while, mention a player or two that's doing very well, or something like that. But I don't think Murfreesboro really cares much about the NBA.
You're probably like me. On Sunday morning in church, it's not unusual for you and I to be asked, or for me, and I suggest you be asked, what about the Oakland Patriots? Or what about MTSU? Or what about Tennessee? What about the Miami Hurricanes? Yes. The Titans? All the above.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
We get to be the experts oftentimes, which I am not, and I'm quick to say that about most things, but somehow they think my opinion is worth asking about. But I never get asked about the NBA. Never.
I don't either, and I don't get asked about the Predators very often either, really, or Nashville soccer. I just don't. Most of the people that talk to me about sports and want to bring up about sports, I would say that maybe high school football and basketball may lead the way, along with Tennessee and Vanderbilt and Middle Tennessee, basketball and football. Those seem to be this weekend, for instance, the talk where I was about Mack Hawks.
Yeah,
leaving Oakland, and I understood why. I think it's a big story, and his career is coming to an end, and it's been a great thing. We may talk about it later. I don't know what you want to do with that, but that was the talk about a coaching change, and we have coaching changes now just all the time, constantly.
We'll come back to Mack Hawks because I do want to talk about that for sure. But as I said, but if you look at the games, and it's not just one game; it's all games, Jeff. The crowds are there. They're enthusiastic. They are ballistic. They are crazy, and they are paying a lot of money to be there. By the way.
Oh yes.
So where it's big, clearly it's a big deal. I was listening to the national network coming in and talking about the Detroit Pistons and Cleveland Cavaliers, 1-4 seeds in the East. Now, Jeff, that's the first I've heard of that. For sure, but they broke it down, and then this, that, and the other. It's so, all right. So it's not just me, is there? Am I right?
That's correct.
Second thing you mentioned, the Nashville Predators tonight is when they decide. They're not picking people, but they make the decision who gets the number one pick, and Nashville is in that lottery for that. And I think their odds were 3.5%, something like that, to get the number one pick. But they put that in place, the lottery, to try to keep teams from folding quite so much at the end of a season, and knowing if I'm the last place team in the league, I get the number one pick. NFL hadn't gone that route, but the NBA certainly has. NHL is the same way. But even though we won't know the name of any player when they pick them here in a month or so, NHL draft is a pretty big deal to have the number 1, 2, 3 pick, my understanding.
It gets a little worse, if that's possible, for the Nashville soccer, because I challenge these two young men standing across from me right now that are running the board and doing all the serious work here to tell me two major opponents of the Nashville soccer. Neither one of them have any idea. and I will tell you the absolute truth. I don't know either. They tell me on TV, Nashville's going to play a big soccer match against so-and-so, and the championship of the entire solar system will be decided, and I want them to win. Hey, they're playing well. I know.
Jeff, you're talking about soccer,
okay.
the world's number one sport here.
That's right.
Why are you disconnected from that?
I don't know. I didn't grow up with it, for sure. I didn't know anything about soccer. I knew more about hockey than soccer, but only because Nashville had not one, but over the years, two different minor league hockey teams, and I occasionally went. So I wasn't entirely, but I know the hockey teams, a lot of them. I mean, I know when you play the Detroit Red Wings, you got a problem. I mean, I know that.
Sure.
Or the Rangers, or the Kings.
Well, let's break that down into a couple of different areas. One, hockey has always been a bigger deal in the United States than soccer has been.
Yes.
Traditionally.
Yes.
Even though there were very little beyond the Northeast. It was Chicago, it was Detroit, it was New York, it was Boston, Canadian, to Montreal and Toronto were the sixth NHL teams for years and years and years and years. But we still got to see that. Soccer was never in place. And second, Nashville Predators now have been around for, 27 years or so. So the Nashville Soccer Club has been in place, 3, 4, 5, maybe?
Maybe.
So there's some reasons for that.
I'm talking about them. I don't mean to say anything really particularly negative about them. I'm just telling you I don't hear much conversation from a lot of people, even though both of those teams do have big crowds in Nashville. They draw.
I would dare say that the folks at St. Mark's Methodist Church, where I go, and First Baptist Church, where you go, are not of the nationality of the soccer fans. It is a sport that is dominated by Europeans, and worldwide, it's not Americans that dominate the soccer program and its Christian imagination. So there's reasons that we don't know as much about that, I'm sure.
We did this one year, and it was fun. We had a good time with it. We were on a cruise, and in the Caribbean and that kind of thing. You know, everybody's done that, I guess, at least once or wanted to. But anyway, we played a game one year. We'll call it a game, where we kept track of all the football jerseys from the American teams that we saw. Mm-hmm. Okay, and I remember very, very well when we got off the boat, when we got back to New Orleans. All right, and a guy came aboard the boat, was coming up the ramp with Navy on his shirt. Okay, Navy, and they wouldn't let me count him because he wasn't officially on the boat. Okay, so they said, no, you're stuck with 49. 49. Well, I found out on the trip, just walking around, looking and observing and enjoying myself, that the people that were running the boat, do you call it a boat? The cruise ship.
Yes,
okay?
Yes.
They were watching soccer.
Sure.
On every television set, and they were all from Aruba and Brazil and Argentina and some Europeans as well.
And thus, not many of those in St. Mark's or First Baptist.
Right. Oh, that's right. That's correct.
We were in Munich, Germany. I'm going to say 15 years ago. World Cup time. Germany won a match. We didn't know the match was going on. But we were in the kind of the public square in the evening about 6:30, 7 o'clock. Jeff, when that game was over with, the place went completely crazy. I mean, not just this little part of it, but people running up and down. You know those horns that they, you know, talking about that make the sound.
And you all didn't know what was going on, did you?
Yeah, we knew. It didn't take long to figure out exactly what was taking place. And this was not winning the World Cup. This was winning a World Cup game, match, whatever, on the pitch. Is that what it's called?
Yeah, the pitch is correct. I think I knew this last year that 2 or 3 of the top 7 or 8 professional teams, some of the value, the worth.
Yes.
2 or 3 of the top 6 or 7 are soccer teams.
Yes.
Manchester United being one of them.
Yes, that's
which that okay? That's fine, but I have no history of it, and I don't believe we have a soccer ball at Rockvale.
Soccer is doing what football, NFL football is trying to do. NFL football is playing more and more matches in Europe.
That's right.
They're playing in Mexico City. They're playing in Barcelona. They're playing in Munich. They're playing in London. Do you happen to know how many overseas games they'll play this year? 6 or 8? Is that about right?
It's growing, and there's seems like there's one in, I don't know, maybe we've played in Mexico City, but I think we have 1 or 2 in South America somewhere.
Yeah.
And that'll work out better for the time zone thing. That's the real problem with Europe, the time zone. I know the Titans played over there, and a couple of years ago, and the time was like 9 o'clock in the morning. You know, I mean, here, and it was on TV, of course. Naturally, it's on TV.
Well, that said, Spring Fling, as it stands now, boys soccer is part of the spring situation that takes place. That's still in Murfreesboro? Do you know?
Don't think so. I think this is the first year.
I know a lot. It's split up in many places. I'm not sure exactly what Murfreesboro still has and hasn't have, but I don't know. Track and field is in Knoxville.
Yeah. Tennis, Chattanooga. I'm guessing.
I don't know, Jeff.
which kind of, I don't know, when I read that, I know it's not here, and when I read that, I thought, gosh almighty, we've got some of the best tennis facilities in the state, and they moved it. But, you know, I guess you got to be fair. People shouldn't have to come to Murfreesboro. I wish they would, but they don't have to do that every year after year after year. It's been forever since our basketball has been elsewhere, and I'm not, and it won't be this next year either. It'll be here.
Well, I jumped one spot ahead of where we're going to go because I do want to talk about that very thing, and then also talk about Mac Hawks. So we'll take a break now, and we'll come back and do that on All Sports Talk.
Clark's Auction Company will get you top dollar for your property.
Auctions are easy, fast, and profitable.
I've always been a big fan of auctions. Get instant sale, no contingencies.
That means the sale of your property won't depend on an inspection, financing, or appraisals.
I've known the guys over there my entire life.
Call Parks Auction and Realty or visit parksauction.com.
Clark's Auction Company will get you top dollar for your property.
Parks Auction Company, committed to auction excellence.
Hold it to you, 27.5.
When illness or injury turns everyday moments into uphill battles, there are medical professionals who step in with skill, compassion, and unwavering dedication. My name is Joey P. I'm CEO of Murfreesboro Medical Clinic, and we are proud to highlight this month's MMC Heart for Healing recipient.
We recognize Dr. Sean Horwitz, a surgeon at MMC, whose reputation is built on as much his heart as it is his hands. Dr. Horwitz makes every patient feel like his priority. Whether performing complex robotic surgery or providing life-changing breast care, he combines elite technical precision with a rare, compassionate touch that truly defines him. Dr. Sean Horwitz, our MMC Heart for Healing.
If a doctor, nurse, or medical professional has made a difference in your life, tell WGNS. Help us recognize the medical heroes in our community by nominating them for the MMC Heart for Healing Award, and help us recognize the medical heroes in our community.
First Shot transforms Rutherford County youth. Coach Andy Herzer leads dynamic basketball camps and clinics, building skills and character since 2003. Kids dive into exciting STEM projects, sparking creativity through hands-on coding, art, and dance. They elevate their mind, spirit, and body in summer and winter programs. Visit FirstShotTN.org today to learn more. First Shot, where kids gain, elevate, and develop.
City Tile and Floor Covering is a family business.
The finishes on the products are more durable than a real wood, so they are stronger against damage.
Andrew Young with City Tile and Floor Covering.
One is supposed to be more water resistant than the other, but they both have that characteristic that they are water resistant. I like a laminate better because it is a stronger finish and less scratches will show.
City Tile and Floor Covering, 223 South Spring Street.
Hi, this is Nick Hayes with Toots Restaurants. Visit Toots.com to order online, for delivery, pickup, or check out our new merch. Toots.com.
Hi, this is Wade Hayes at Toots Restaurants. By now, you probably know we've been open over 40 years, in the oldest full-service restaurant in Murfreesboro, but we're on our 23rd year in Smyrna.
Hi, this is Jack Hayes with Toots Restaurants. Toots, good food and fun since 1985.
Good food and fun. Good afternoon. We got some scattered showers moving through the downtown area here on 40. Could slow you down just a little bit on 24. It was coming down pretty good there around Shelby with that rain. It's got things wet out here on the roads. Traffic's really slowed down in both directions on 40 east and west here at Fessler's. It's cranking it pretty good now out through the Mount Juliet area, pushing on out into Wilson County there on I-40. Hey, don't let a slipping transmission make things worse on your car or truck. If you're having transmission problems, come to AMCO on Nolensville Pike. I'm Commander Chuck. You're on-time traffic.
It's All Sports Talk from the Good Neighbor Network, FM 1019, 100.5, AM 1450, WGNSradio.com, and Big G TV.
Welcome back into All Sports Talk. Tim Tackett and Jeff Jordan. Jeff brought to you by Fans Heating and Air and Lee Coleman Financial Services with Edward Jones. Let's take them in kind of the order we have discussed a little bit. Mac Hawks, 37 years. Jeff, that's a long time, especially baseball. And I say especially baseball because baseball is at least two jobs. It's managing your ball club, keeping up with that, and second, managing your facilities. You agree with that?
Yes. Also, there are very likely scheduling problems and getting games and travel. Baseball is even harder. They play more.
Yeah. So, Mac, 37 years. I coached. How many did I coach? 14 years, I think, something like that. Jeff, 14 years was a long time to me. I enjoyed it, but it becomes your life. But Mac has done a terrific job at Oakland. The field is named for him there. The teams he had around 2000 were as good as Tennessee baseball, high school baseball, had ever seen, I think. And for about 3 years, they were just totally dominant.
Really? You know, you don't like to say this. Really, he should have won a third one.
Oh, yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
But, you know, he got upset after he won two. But I thought he did a really terrific job. I think he actually coached and taught more than 40 years, I believe.
42, I think, is what I read. I think that's right.
That is a long time.
Sure.
Nobody does that anymore much, which is okay, but he chose to. I was always impressed with his demeanor and how he approached things, and I was privileged to interview him a number of times on the coach's show, and he would come on. And I remember one Saturday before the season started, and Brian and I were there, and we would talk, and I interviewed him. And I said, well, let's go and talk about your lineup a little bit and your players. And he named every single player that he had with no paper in front of him and with a little bio of every one of them. I didn't say anything. And I said, folks, I just want you to know he did that with no references whatsoever. If he left anybody out, I doubt if he did.
And the chances are pretty good that he didn't have a lot of face or voice inflection in any of that, because Mac was a very even-keeled,
right,
quiet, unassuming kind of a guy. And his emotions boiled underneath for sure.
Yeah.
But he, for the most part, he was very quiet and as I say, had a demeanor that allows you to coach for 37 years. I think that might be the way to put that.
I guess that's a good way to put it. He approached it that way. He was very calm and yes, yeah.
Second, spring fling.
Yeah.
I haven't done it yet, going to all these different places, but the early returns from what the paper has been able to put out and talking with coaches anonymously and so forth, so on, and whatever, there doesn't seem to be a lot of people in favor of a lot of what's going on as far as whatever. I know as a school principal, it would be very difficult to have somebody in one for track and field and one place for tennis and one place for this and that and the other. It'll be curious to see down the road if they may bring it all back a little bit closer to Murfreesboro. And you mentioned people having to come to Murfreesboro all the time. The one thing we got that we didn't bargain for, but we got it, is location. The second thing we got that we did bargain for is facilities. Jeff, there's not a better place for any of these sports. Name them, I would think, than Murfreesboro.
Well, and we have mentioned this before on this show. I don't know how we got ourselves into this situation, but it's a good situation to be in. Well, we must have some of the best volunteers in the state that are willing to help put something on, because they work. I mean, they work. And I don't know of any place, well, Memphis and I think Chattanooga really are just difficult to get to, even though, well, we went to Memphis. You and I both went. We roomed together down there one night.
Sure.
And it wasn't the place to have it. My goodness,
Well, not only is it in a remote part of the state for most of the state.
Right.
It was not like you went from here 2 miles down the road to the next facility and so forth. I mean, those facilities were 35 miles apart.
That's exactly correct. There was stuff played in Millington and something played. most people do not believe this, but the softball for 3 years in a row was played in Mississippi.
Yes.
They never got the fields ready to go for the. Now, I do want to say, and I want to preface this by saying that they treated me really well.
Mm-hmm.
I was there covering Blackman, turned out, and they were very nice to me. Did everything that they could do to help me, and I appreciate it. Both at the hotel where I stayed, and down in Mississippi as well, where we played. But I don't know about Clarksville. I don't know what kind of tennis and soccer, and I don't know what kind of facilities they have. If they're as big as we are, but I don't know if they have, enough to go around. We're hosting so many teams and so many games and so many days. But other than that, and I know probably people are out there right now saying, well, we could go to Nashville. No, we can't. No. The travel would be just as bad in Nashville, and I don't know where we'd play for that matter, although facilities are better now. But Vanderbilt does not want us, I don't believe. They could have had us. They used to have us.
Sure.
I know Oakland and Riverdale both played basketball at Vanderbilt in the state tournament, and of course in football numerous times. As a matter of fact, Riverdale and Oakland both won their first championships at Vanderbilt, I believe. So, but anyway, they have moved some of the events out of Murfreesboro and to other places. So we'll see how it works. But you're right. There's some people are going to be on the road a lot. I'm talking about principals, administrators, athletic directors, because their teams are going to play on the same day, or they'll play one day and then the next day they'll be somewhere else, then they'll be back. I mean, it could be a problem.
Well, winter sports, for example, is not done all in the same place. They do wrestling in Franklin, which my understanding, I've never been, but my understanding is nobody can hold an event as well as Franklin.
I've heard that as well.
They do a terrific job with that. So there are places that are capable of doing it, but I don't know that anybody can do it better. I'll say it this way. If Murfreesboro wanted to put on a wrestling event here, I'll bet they'd find a way to get it done and do it very well.
I would agree with that, absolutely. And we've had some people that were very interested, and it was a prominent sport here for a while.
Jeff, you've been involved in sports for many years, coaching, broadcasting, probably playing, I would assume, at some point in time. Sports talk, play-by-play. Which of that, none of the above, all of the above things, do you feel like that you enjoyed the most?
Well, I have given it that. I've given that some thought, and I liked them all, which I guess that's a cop-out, maybe. I don't know.
I think it's a reasonable answer. I do.
It used to be. Now I haven't done any unless I've been on Tennessee Radio Network, sometimes with you. I haven't done any of that stuff since the mid 2000, maybe 15. I might have done something on Tennessee Radio Network, but anyway, before that, back in those days and before that, it was much more difficult to get rosters and get what you needed to do the broadcast of a team that you've never seen, and you got to know the starters. Well, my goodness, getting the starters from Hendersonville is impossible. They won't even talk to me. They think I'm the enemy. Matter of fact, they did tell me that. But anyway, I tell you what I enjoy. Well, doing a football game or basketball, which I knew better, I guess, than any other. I enjoyed all of it, but I'm going to answer your question. I really enjoyed girls softball. I really did. I thought that was a lot of fun. It was quick. We had good plays on both sides and very talented players.
You're talking about broadcasting?
Yeah, broadcasting. There were people everywhere that could play.
You coached volleyball and boys basketball and girls basketball.
And girls basketball. That's right. Now, but we never broadcast volleyball, and I do enjoy that. But I didn't broadcast it. I went to some games. I went to middle volleyball, which was really a lot of fun. The only problem I've ever had with baseball, I think they're kind of trying to work it out a little bit here lately, was that it just took so long to play a game. Yeah. It just took forever. And you think, well, and that's when your broadcast partner, whether I'm color or not, and I'm our play-by-play, where that person is absolutely critical to have, and you can go back and forth with each other. And in the last few years that I broadcast, and a lot of people that are listening right now have no idea at all, but Brian Barrett and I we split it up. And matter of fact, I did in basketball the last 3 years. I did the girls' game, and Brian did the boys' game. And Brian said he didn't care; it made a difference to him. So I said, "Well, I do care. I'm going to do the girls' game." So okay, so that worked out all right.
An icon in sports broadcasting, John Sterling has passed away in New York.
Yep.
You and I grew up in an era where baseball broadcasters were iconic in many ways. I think more so in baseball than any other because they were there every day after day. It became part of your life. And we listened to basketball, but that was twice a week. We listened to football, that was once a week. But you listen to baseball, Major League Baseball in particular, if you're a fan in the 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, you listen to that every day. The Marty Brennans of the world, John Sterling in New York. There's so many places where that was important. What would you think about doing a broadcast day after day after day after day after day?
Well, no. I don't want to do that necessarily. Although all the people that do that have a lot of help, right? Very seldom today does a guy sit down and do 9 innings play-by-play.
Sure.
But so you got somebody. But I'll tell you something that really impressed me one time, and I know he's impressed you. Dick Palmer's. I consider Dick Palmer to be a friend. I know you do as well.
Sure.
And he has a great voice and great knowledge and great approach to baseball, basketball, whatever he happens to be doing. But we were at middle one night, and I was doing color for him. I don't remember who was playing. I think it was Oakland, but I don't remember. But anyway, we get into the game, kind of, and not far into the game, but we're into the game, and the lights go out. The worst possible thing that could happen to a broadcaster is you can't see anything, and nothing is happening. Okay, nothing. But he has electricity. So poor Dick is sitting there, and he's got to carry the show. And he does for about 40 minutes. He interviewed everybody within sight.
Well, you couldn't see very far, you said.
Well, no. And he's sitting, this is in the old press box, which was a nightmare. And he sent me said, go downstairs, find somebody, you know everybody, find somebody. So I bring him up there. I said, Dick Palmer really wants to talk to you. I lied, of course. He didn't have any interest at all.
Talk to anybody.
But anyway, and I thought, now that's a different side of broadcasting that you just don't see every day, and you just don't.
Let's take a break. Chip Walters is up next, one of our favorite broadcasters, by the way. And when we come back, I'm going to ask you two or three of your favorite broadcasters you've had throughout your lifetime after this on All Sports Talk.
If someone asked, what's your more? Would you be surprised? Well, at First Bank, knowing your more is where we start. Whether it's seeing your kid's college graduation, seeing the world, or seeing the ocean from your patio, your more helps us see who you are. That's why First Bank offers you more time, more access to local lenders and leaders, more answers, and more products. So tell us, what's your more? First Bank. Bank local. Get more. Member FDIC.
In Rutherford County, you know how much it means to have neighbors you can count on. I'm State Farm Agent Andy Womack, here to help life go right when you combine home and auto insurance. Call me today at 615-890-0850 and let me save you money and time. Your home, your auto. Together, they're where life happens. I'm State Farm Agent Andy Womack. It's smart to protect them together to help life go right. Give me a call at 615-890-0850 and let me help you save by combining your home and auto.
For home restoration at a price you can afford, trust the professionals at Farrah Construction to get the job done on time and within your budget. Farrah Construction can remodel your home or can update your kitchen, bath, or other room. I'm Ron Hall. If you can dream it, Farrah Construction can turn it into reality. Call Farrah Construction at 615-893-6120. Shop local. Let our family business help you. Farrah Construction Company.
Hi, I'm Wade Hayes, owner of Toots Good Food and Fun. I strongly believe that volunteers make a positive difference in the quality of life here in our community.
Susan Daniel with the DAR is our Toots Outstanding Volunteer. Susan is devoted to preserving history and helping others learn how to trace their family's roots. Susan Daniel is the parliamentarian at the Captain William Lytle chapter of the DAR. Our Toots volunteer, Susan Daniel, with the Captain William Lytle chapter of the Daughters of American Revolution.
At Toots, we strongly believe that it's important for every one of our citizens to give some of their time and talent back into the community. And we want to honor these individuals with a Toots gift certificate good at any of our Rutherford County locations. 860 Northwest Broad Street, on Church Street in the Barfield area, in Smyrna on Sam Ridley, and Toots West on Franklin Road at Rucker Lane.
Stones River Manor, the only faith-based nonprofit home for seniors in Rutherford County.
Everyone is so friendly. They really want to make you happy here.
Stones River Manor offers independent living.
When you get to our age and you live in a house, there's always things that's got to be done. Living here, I don't have to worry about anything.
You don't have a yard to mow. You don't have a roof to repair.
Just what you want to do outside.
Start the journey. They're near the intersection of Haynes Drive and Memorial Boulevard. Online at stonesrivermanor.com.
Next on All Sports Talk, it's the Blue Raider Insider Report with Chip Walters of Exit Realty, Bob Lamb & Associates.
Well, good afternoon, everybody, and let's start with Blue Raider baseball. Tonight's game at Lipscomb has been canceled due to impending weather moving into the mid-state tonight. That game will probably not be rescheduled as it's getting down to the short rows and not any dates left to do that. This weekend, the Blue Raiders traveled for a huge series down to FIU. Turning to softball, 2 Blue Raiders were recognized with Conference USA All-Conference team selections. That was announced earlier today by the league office. Macy Harder had a fantastic sophomore year for middle. Harder led the Blue Raiders in batting average, runs scored, and extra base hits. And also, after being named the 2025 Conference USA Freshman of the Year, it's no surprise that Jana Want has had a successful sophomore year. She batted .309, slugged .497, and had an on-base percentage of .432. So congratulations to both of those young ladies. Also, with Blue Raider football spring drills in the bag, Emmy Fazenbaker had a chance to sit down with a couple of Blue Raider players and get their thoughts.
Well, spring ball is officially over, and I have Reese Tripp, an offensive lineman, and Corey Smith, an inside linebacker, here with me to talk more about football, where things are at with the team, and just to hear exactly how spring ball went. So, Corey, I'll start off with you first. I know that it was a pretty intense couple of weeks with the team, but from you being a vet here in the blue and white, how were things going, and what did you see from this team so far?
I feel like it's going great. First, I'm going to talk about the offense. I love the offense this year. Okay. They're electric, and they're scoring all the time, so I'm in love with the offense. And the defense, we're still stopping the run, still stopping the pass. So this spring ball has been great, and I can't wait for y'all to come see us play.
Okay, Reese, your turn. I know that we've kind of talked more about this is your first year here, transferring here, but what were you seeing, especially down in the trenches, just making sure that you're blocking that walk, especially for QB1?
I mean, I think, first of all, great communication along the line this year.
that was one of my main goals coming in, is just make sure we can all be unified as one. So that makes quarterbacks' life easier, running backs, everyone can hear the communication, tight ends. So I think that was a really good step for us, and just being able to establish the run game and just make sure we can put that kind of game on our backs and be able to just keep running the ball no matter what situation.
I know that we talked also a couple weeks back that for you, you were really focusing on being a leader here. It might be your first year here in Murfreesboro, but that doesn't make a difference for you. You're really just wanting to make an impact. Do you still see yourself wanting to really just grasp that role completely as we're moving forward into the summertime?
Yeah, that's my main goal, is to be a leader. And going into the summer, I think just trying to have everyone stick around here and make sure they're keep practicing their craft and always getting better. So that means extra field work, extra meeting time, just to make sure everyone knows what they're doing, and just being able to get better every day.
Now, Corey, I know you're from here, born and raised here in Murfreesboro, but also you are a third year coming in. So you're also trying to walk into that leadership role and just really make a difference on the defensive side. Mm-hmm. So how are you really challenging yourself to make sure that you're doing that?
I've been challenging myself, trying to be the best me, first of all, like lead by example before I try to tell anybody what to do. So I had a great role model last year, Parker Hughes. So I've been trying to act like what he installed in me. Also teaching the young guys that like it's your first year here, or telling them like you relax, even when coaches are on us. So I've been helping us be great on the field, communicating and doing our job and our part.
Well, last question is Parker Hughes. What you just mentioned, he just got drafted to the Jacksonville Jaguars, which is a credible deal. So how does it make you feel to see one of your teammates just from last year to get to live out his dreams?
Oh, it's amazing. Oh, what's it called? Just seeing him work every day and lead our room. It was great to be able to play with him and be able to see him just do that coming from MTSU. It just gives me hope.
Perfect. All right. Well, thanks, guys. That's all we have for right now. And as always, let's go Blue.
It's all sports talk from the Good Neighbor Network, FM 1019, 100.5, AM 1450, WGNSradio.com, and Big G TV.
They're pointing a finger at me, Jeff, like I'm supposed to be on the air.
Well, we are here, aren't we?
Jeff Jordan brought you by Fans Heating and Air, Lee Collins Financial Services. I mentioned going into this last break with Chipper. By the way, let's take him out of the plan and just say that we both enjoy the work that he does in Middle Tennessee. And Dick Palmer, you mentioned him before. Monty Hale Sr. This town has produced a lot of good broadcasters. Let's go through that a little bit first, and then let's move nationally, maybe. But maybe your comments on that.
I'm going to cheat here and tell you that the one guy that I really enjoyed, I was pleased to meet him as a boy and a young man, sat with him during his radio show, and met him when he came down here to do a ball game for Middle. Larry Munson.
Oh.
He was the best as far as I was concerned. Now, I will admit that I grew up with him, listening to Nashville Vols, and that's the right name, Nashville Vols baseball, and of course Vanderbilt. And there was times, Tim, on ABC, where he did the news, the weather, and the sports himself, the whole thing. Nobody helped him at all. Now they got 9 people doing it. He'd do the whole thing. And of course, he ended up going to Atlanta, and I think just 1 year. And he was better than Milo Hamilton, by the way. But anyway, he did that, and then he became sort of legendary at the University of Georgia. But I thought he was just absolutely excellent broadcaster.
I never heard him do baseball at all, but I did hear him do football a good bit, and he certainly would hunker down with those dogs.
Yeah. And he's got a couple of things that are nationally known. one of them is comments and some play-by-play things that he did when Herschel Walker was playing.
Yes.
And
something about a hobnail boot.
Yeah, and I heard him just the other day, and they weren't really talking about him necessarily. They were just talking about broadcasters in general. And I don't know about you. I know you're a Cincinnati guy, and that's fine. That's fine. When you used to be able, where I lived, which was the middle of nowhere in Rutherford County. It's not anymore, but it was then. It was out in Salem. And I could pick up at night, Pittsburgh, Cincinnati,
WKDA in Pittsburgh,
St. Louis,
WLW in Cincinnati,
and Chicago. I could pick up all four of those stations. If the weather was right, I could hear the games. And I enjoyed all of them. They were fine, except one guy that I did not like at all, and that was Harry Carey. I thought I didn't care for him at all, but that was later. Much later when he was with the Cubs and the White Sox too, by the way.
If you ask for some of the favorites amongst the folks, Harry Carey's name would approach at the very top of any list.
Yeah,
colorful for sure. Going back to Larry Munson, colorful guy. He's just a freshman.
Yeah,
what he talked about.
Yeah, yeah,
big time. But who was your favorite?
Well,
besides Larry Munson, of the people that most of us would know.
Well, I was okay with St. Louis, and of course Harry Carey spent some time there.
Sure, a lot of time there.
I just thought a lot of his stuff was just kind of like he's the show.
Sure.
I just didn't care for it.
Sure.
He's no longer with us, and I'm just. But you were right. A lot of people really loved that guy. They really did, and they stuck with him. Of course, I know as the game moved from the first inning to the ninth, Harry got a little bit more colorful as we went. It took around the 6th or 7th. He was raring to go.
Well, it made no secret that Budweiser was part of his deal up and down the line in many ways, more ways than one. One that I never was able to find quite the attraction to that most did was Vin Scully. Legendary guy in Los Angeles, but I was never a big Vin Scully fan.
I wasn't either, not particularly. He's smooth as silk, though, and he did know, poetry and music and philosophers and all kinds of stuff that he could throw into a broadcast somehow, some way.
You talk about Cincinnati. Marty Brenneman, the longtime voice there, but it started out with Wade Hoyt, the first broadcaster I remember there. Going back a ways, and it's hard now, Jeff, to give you how crazy it is. Marty was such a big part of my life because of the Reds broadcast. I couldn't tell you who the play-by-play man in Cincinnati is right now. Now, that said, it's because I watch most of it on television and very little radio anymore.
Well, I guess that's kind of the way it is now. Radio is gone out of style somewhat. But I think there's so many fans out there. A lot of people are at work. They're driving around, or they're sitting at home listening to the broadcast. And I'll say this I've told him this. He okay, he's fine. But if I could listen to Chipper on MTSU football and watch it on TV, that's the best of both worlds right there. Because I think not only does Chipper do an excellent job, but these people that they hire, somebody hires them to do middle football from, they're not very good. They don't know the players, nothing about them. So, I think if you want a broadcaster of a local variety, but I think Chip Walters is about the best you're going to come up with. First of all, he loves it. He wants to do that.
I think that
for that school.
You maybe just answered my question. What is the most important part of broadcasting? What would you, is someone starting out, what do you need to make sure that you do A, B, and C?
Well, you've got to know the players who you can talk to, and you've got to understand the game and maybe the right questions to ask, because you can get in a lot of trouble asking the wrong question, as you know. I've seen that happen. It's happened to me a time or two. But I would say Chipper is, and he didn't pay me to talk about him, by the way. He's from Columbia, and he's a real Columbia fan. Okay, and he broadcast some for them and worked on the radio there a little bit before he even graduated, and then he ended up in Shelbyville and did some Shelbyville work before he came to WGNS as a student at MTSU, and he loves Middle Tennessee State University. He just does. And he wanted that job. He wanted to do that job. He wanted to broadcast it. And he presents them in a very positive light.
You mentioned it probably unknowingly, but there's really 2 or 3 aspects that you got to do. A, there's the broadcast itself. Second is the interviews. Pre-game, during the game, after the game, especially in baseball.
Right.
They're really 2 different skill sets, don't you think?
Yes, I guess that's fair. I think this we were talking about Chipper. I think he's as good at it as anybody that I know. And when you listen to him, and then you listen to Dick Palmer, it's 2 entirely different types of voices and maybe approaches to it, and both of them are excellent. Mm-hmm. They're just really good.
You're trying to say there's not just one way to skin that cat?
Yeah, I think so. I think that's fair.
There was one other thing that was going to burn on my mind for the last minute and 30 seconds, but it's not coming to me. So let's just go ahead and put the bed to rest. We got a lot of ball games coming up. Speaking of which, nobody does it better than GNS as far as covering local sports.
Well, I'll tell you what, it's
Ryan
all
Barrett,
there.
John Dinkins, and so forth.
It's all there. I tell you what, you turn in and you if you'll just listen for just a little while, you're going to find out the winners and losers all over the city. Now Chipper's got a different problem this year, because some of those games are going to be played not only outside of Murfreesboro but outside our time zone. So we'll see how he handles that, but he'll handle it. All
right, let's rock this boat to the house and turn it over to. I know what I was going to mention. Chip Walters does a roundtable 9:00 on Wednesday mornings. Really good guests. Not all most times not sports, Jeff. A lot of other things. It's really good.
I heard him the other day, and I finally just parked the car in the lot at Wellness Center before I went into the hospital, and just listened to the rest of his show.
Sure.
I mean, he was that good with it, and I just thoroughly enjoyed it.
And there is such things as podcasts now, where you can go back and listen to those things if you choose to. All right, that's going to wrap it up. See you next Tuesday.
Hey folks, it's Chip Walters from Exit Realty Bob Lamb & Associates, helping Middle Tennessee make smart moves in a fast-moving market. Whether you're buying, selling, or just exploring your options, you deserve someone who knows this community and treats your goals like their own. From first-timers to long-time homeowners, I'm here to guide you with clarity, confidence, and a steady hand. When you're ready to make the next move, start with someone you trust. Visit ChooseChip.net and let's make your 2026 move the right move.
If you're a small business owner, think about everything you need to help your business succeed. You need a plan, happy customers, steady cash flow, and an insurance agent that gets you. I'm State Farm Agent Deb Insel, and I run a small business too. I understand the unique needs of local business owners and will make it easy for you to choose the right protection at the right price. Because one thing you don't need is insurance stress. Call me